Hello, I'm Rosanna from Aurora Paleo Lifestyle Bootcamp and Aurora Vital Life, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself, a bit of background, and also tell you about my experience on the microbiome purify kit and how I got to that point. So firstly, as I say, I have Aurora Paleo Lifestyle Bootcamp in Marbella, and I've had that now for quite a few years with quite a lot of success. My background is that I'm a microbiologist, and I spent most of my working life pre-boot camp in the pharmaceutical industry, so I'm very science-based, very research-based. So everything I do is based on a lot of research, a lot of fact, a lot of scientific data. So when I started the boot camp, I looked into various different types of diet and different types of lifestyles, and I decided to go down the route of the paleo lifestyle, not because it's based on sort of Paleolithic man and we didn't eat like that until certain times. I actually looked at the science behind it and looked at the reasons why gluten and lactose and highly processed foods and sugar, etc., is not good for your system in a lot of ways. And that's why I chose to go down that particular route based on the science and the research behind it. And as I said, I did have a lot of, or do have a lot of success with people losing weight. But it's not just about the losing weight, it's about body recomposition. So losing the fat, but without sacrificing any of the lean muscle mass, and in fact in some cases building more lean muscle to increase the metabolism. So I had an awful lot of success at Aurora Paleo Lifestyle Bootcamp. However, there were some people who didn't do so well, and I started thinking, well, why is that? What's the reason behind that? Why do some people do really well on this diet and this lifestyle, and some people not so good? So I started looking at a bit of research and looking at various different things, and I came across a lot of research into leaky gut syndrome, which then led me into a lot of research about the microbiome, the gut microbiome. And it was like a light bulb had switched on for me. It was so interesting, and the basics of it are, and there is the book, The Microbiome Reboot Diet, which talks you through it all, but the basics of it are that your body is made up of cells, obviously, and 90% of the cells of the body are actually not your human cells, they're your bacterial cells, bacteria, viruses, etc. cells. And a lot of the functions in the body are actually dictated by your genetics of your microbiome, not by your human cells. So therefore, sort of weight loss, fat loss, a lot of the metabolic functions in the body, inflammation, so on and so forth, are all ruled by the microbiome. And it just kind of blew my mind, because as a microbiologist, it was just so interesting and made so much sense to me. So I researched it an awful lot more and decided that was definitely going to be the way forward. So it wasn't a one size necessarily fits all, but basics of it are that you have to increase the diversity of your microbiome. So you need as many friendly bugs as possible in your microbiome, of a very good quality and a decent quantity. It's as simple as that. And if you have that, and you also eat a nice clean diet, gluten-free, lactose-free, low processed foods, low sugar, etc., then the chances are you will turn on your fat burning and be able to burn fat, and secondly be able to rid yourself of an awful lot of problems that we have these days in Western society due to increased inflammation, etc., within the body. Things like metabolic syndrome, like diabetes, high triglycerides, heart problems, a lot of inflammatory conditions and allergic conditions. All of those can be traced back to the health of the microbiome. So it's just so important. And then I looked at myself. And I'd been following the paleo diet for quite some time, quite successfully, and I did actually lose a considerable amount of weight, and I was a lot healthier following the paleo lifestyle, doing also like the functional training, the body weight exercises, etc. However, I had an accident, and I kind of went off beam a little bit and started bringing things into my diet that really shouldn't have been there, and weren't doing me any good. And I started putting on a bit of weight, not a huge amount, but a bit of weight. And also I'm 49 now, and since the age of 40 I've been experiencing perimenopause, which then transferred through into full menopause. So I've been having sort of hot flushes and night sweats, and just brain fog, and just feeling a bit not quite with it for quite some time, and it's been getting worse and worse and worse. And basically, with putting on a bit of weight and not eating the way that I used to eat, and not doing as much exercise as I had been doing, it all kind of culminated in the fact that I was basically having 15 to 20 really bad hot flushes per day, and sleeping maybe 2 or 3 hours per night because of the night sweats. Also, I wasn't able to function properly. My brain just wasn't functioning right, and that was very frustrating for me, because I've always been very active with my mind, so it was driving me insane. So that all drove me to look at the microbiome diet for myself. So I started eating as you would on the microbiome diet, which is very, very similar to paleo. So it wasn't a great leap of faith for me to do that. And then I looked into it a bit further and discovered sort of prebiotics, probiotics, things that can help sort of purify and cleanse the microbiome, but also prime it with the right types of bacteria in the right numbers and quantity. And that's what brought me to look at the microbiome purify kit from Synergy. When I was with the boot camp, when I was running the boot camp, as I still am, I used to get approached all the time by various different supplement companies trying to get me to promote their products at my boot camp, and I resisted pretty much all of them because I researched them, looked at the products, and they just weren't right for me or for my clients, because they contained lots of ingredients that I just wouldn't agree with at all. So when I looked at the microbiome purify kit, one of the things that I sort of really looked at very closely was the ingredients, and I was astounded by the quality, the quantity, the science behind it, the quality assurance that goes on. And it's one of the very, very few products that I would actually recommend to other people, but I wouldn't recommend anything to anyone else without trying it myself. So therefore I tried the microbiome purify kit, and I have to say, during the week of trying it, I did the body prime, which is the magnesium product, for 5 days beforehand, and even going into the purify, I actually felt a little bit better, because the magnesium's very good for giving energy into your muscles and giving you extra energy. And also I'd been taking the apple pectin and the prune powder within the body prime product, and that kind of just starts the peristalsis in your gut also, so I'd already kind of primed it. And then I started, so the week, so I was taking the biome DT, I was taking the magnesium, the bioactives, which is the probiotic, the actual bacteria, taking the arginine, and I was taking the biome shake. So all of those, which I've described in the video above how to taking those for 7 days. And what I found was day one I had 2 hot flushes, I think it was, and I slept for maybe 4 or 5 hours, which for me was amazing, because I'd been having like 15 to 20 per day, and really, really bad ones as well. So that was a bit of a shocker for me. It was it blew my mind. So day 2 and day 3 went on. I continued to take the products as you should for the whole 7 days, and by day 2 I had 0 hot flushes. And I thought, this is a bit weird. What else am I doing that can possibly be causing this? And there was nothing. I hadn't changed anything else except for taking the microbiome purify kit. Yes, I'd cleaned my diet up a bit, and I'd stopped the drinking alcohol, so those in combination were probably helping, but it was astounding. and then day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. During those days, the microbiome purify kit, I could tell it was working because my bowel movements were more, and you do get a little bit of gas going on in the first few days because your system's not used to it, so you do get a little bit of belching and wind, etc. But after that it settled down, and it was no problem whatsoever, and I could actually feel my digestive system coming back into sync, if you like. I was also obviously eating alongside the microbiome purify kit. I was eating a very healthy, gluten-free, lactose-free, non-processed foods, low sugar diet alongside, which is what it recommends. There's actually a leaflet comes with it which kind of recommends that anyway. So by day 7, I just could not believe it. I had 0 hot flushes, and that had been from day 2, and I was sleeping 6 or 7 hours per night, which is just completely unheard of. I haven't slept that much for probably 2 years, and I haven't had no hot flushes on any day for probably about 6 or 7 years. So it's a big thing, basically, for a whole week not to have any hot flushes. And I thought, okay, that's fine, but when I come off of this, are they all going to come flooding back with a vengeance? So I thought, I was a bit tentative. So on day 7, I stopped the microbiome purify kit, and I continued with the clean eating diet, which is obviously, as I say, gluten-free, lactose-free, no alcohol, low processed food, no processed foods, no sugar, no added sugar. And I thought, okay, let's just wait and see what happens. So day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, a week later, still nothing, still no hot flushes. I was sleeping much better. I felt much better within myself also. Oh, and I had actually lost weight, which is, really good. That wasn't my main purpose, but I had actually lost, it was 3 kilograms in the 2 weeks, and I also took all my measurements, and I'd lost an awful lot of centimeters all over, so bust, waist, hips, thigh, bicep. I'd lost measurements everywhere, and particularly I noticed round about my belly, so the belly fat had gone, and my stomach was really flat. I was astounded. I couldn't believe it, and so that made me think, I can really advocate this to people. Now that I've taken it and I know what it can do, I'm definitely gonna be recommending this to other people alongside, obviously, the diet. So I would recommend that you read the Microbiome Reboot Diet book, and that you take on board what that has to say. Try the Microbiome Purify kit alongside for the first week. You don't have to, it's not essential. You can actually do the diet on its own and have quite good results. But if you really want to kickstart that fat loss, and if you have other conditions which I've mentioned, like inflammatory conditions, allergic conditions, metabolic conditions, diabetes, high cholesterol, etc., if you want to try and reduce those or alleviate those completely, I would have a look at the microbiome purify kit, because I am just astounded. I cannot actually tell you how astounded I am by it. So give it a go. Give me some feedback if you do. Let me know how it goes, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.